Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Ex-aviation cadet Sabir Shah here again. Uh, Today, I will talk about a very important day in my life. That's again related to Pakistan Air Force, and that's the day when I joined Pakistan Air Force 31 years ago, December 29th, 1993. I will share my day one's experience, which is amazing. I keep my vlogs in English, reason being the official language in Pakistan Air Force Academy is English. And no matter what area you come from, what your educational background is, the medium is English. And most of my viewers on this channel, I have only 116 subscribers, and I'm happy with that. At least some people are listening to me, and I'm just recording, making a record of the things which I've experienced in my life. And I encourage Pakistani youth to come up and join Pakistan Air Force or the military forces. The men at their best could only be the military forces. You can agree to disagree, but disagree to agree. Your opinion. So this is the reason I post everything in English. मुझे उर्दू भी आती है, मैं उर्दू बोलता हूँ. मुझे चाइनीज़ भी आती है, वो खुशवा चुंगन. मुझे रशियन भी आती है, वरी ऊपर रिस्की. थोड़ी बहुत फ्रांसे भी बोल लेता हूँ मैं, बटे मार लेते हैं हम. So the thing is, this is one of the most beautiful days which we ever have encountered in the life. Joining day, the first day at the academy. So we'll talk about that mostly. And the second thing, which I want to mention, that how beautiful those memories are, and they stay forever. It's been 31 years, and still remember the first day. So let's continue. Now, my course, 1999 GDP, is in the modern history of Air Force, is the shortest course that was enrolled. Reason: normally the courses are 3.5 years long. Cadets, they go for 7 semesters, and after 7 semesters they get their graduation caps and they get their ranks of pilot officers in the beginning. But during our times, the first rank was the flying officer. A pilot officer it equals to I think lieutenant, or the first lieutenant, and a flying officer equals to a lieutenant, and a flight lieutenant. Oh, sorry, no. Cut. When the cadets are graduated, they get the ranks of the flying officers, and that equals in Pakistan military, that equals to the lieutenant ranks. And after flying officers, you become a flight lieutenant. That's the flying officer stays for about 6 months to 1 year, and then you become a flight lieutenant. Just go on lieutenant, get the flight lieutenant. So flight lieutenant, the flight lieutenant equals to the captain of the army ranks. And then while staying as a flight lieutenant for about 3 to 4 years, or maximum up to 5 to 6 years, then you become a squadron leader. And a squadron leader equals to the rank of major in army. And then the squadron leader becomes a wing commander, which is the lieutenant colonel. Then the wing commander becomes, what does he become? The wing commander becomes a group captain, and that equals to, that was the lieutenant colonel, so here it becomes a colonel. So a group captain is a full colonel, so that's the equivalency. And then the group captain becomes the air commodore, that equals to the rank of brigadier. Then the air commodore becomes air vice marshal, and that becomes equal to the Major General, and then Air Vice Marshal becomes the Air Marshal, and that is equal to Lieutenant General, and then is the Chief of Air Staff, which is equivalent to Chief of Army Staff. So that's the hierarchy of Pakistani ranks. Cadets are 16th grade. I don't know. We are not officers. We're neither non-commissioned officers in between. So that's the hierarchy of Pakistan Air Force. Part 3. So as I said, 3.5 years, 7 semesters. First 4 semesters, cadets, they go for the undergraduate program, bachelor's in aviation management. And we learn physics, uh, all branches of physics, all branches of maths, uh, chemistry to a little extent. Then I'm talking about the major subjects which we study. Okay, the aerodynamics, the aero engines, okay, and things related to the aircraft science, aviational sciences. Computer was included back then in 1993. So these are the major subjects. And then there are a lot of related to military. I will not talk about them because that probably is the state secret. So those subjects on the other side. So in 7 semesters, on the average, we study about 40 subjects. And the system is very easy. So for the first 4 semesters, all the cadets, what they do is there's a surprise quiz every week, and that carries a weightage of 10 marks. Every week there's a quiz, surprise quiz. The instructor just finished the lecture, and he would say, "Come on, guys, quiz time," and he would give you marks out of 10. And all the quizzes are averaged at the end, so whatever you have scored, that goes into your final 100-mark score. Then there's a progress test every month. And again, based on whatever you have learned during this month, 4 weeks. So that's called the progress test. So that progress test includes, that carries the weightage of 30 marks. So again, in one semester, you can get 4 progress tests. And the average of those progress tests goes into your final weightage. Then comes the final exam, which is of 60 marks. And you have to secure passing marks in each. So if your average on quizzes is 3 out of 10, and you pass the progress test and the final exam, you will still consider as failed. And then you have to reappear in that exam. Hardly happens because we have to be very active. We sit in the shun position all the time during the lectures, although we do sleep sometimes, but at the time of quiz, we all wake up. It's very tiring. In my previous videos, I've mentioned that how long it for a cadet to stay up it takes. So that was the educational system. A little bit about that one. Move on. So normal cadets with 7 semesters, they would do the engineering bachelor degree in 4 semesters in 2 years of span, and then 5th semester they will start. They're flying on the first aircraft, Mashak aircraft, which they stay for 6 months. And they have to complete 50 flying hours, and in first 13 hours you have to go solo. If you can't, you're dropped out. Then you have choke solos, circuit solos, and if you fail any of that mission, you're out. Then you go for area solo, in which you are alone and you go into area and do all the maneuvers by yourself. No one is sitting right next to you. That's the 27th mission. And if you fail the solo check of that one, that's again, you will be kicked out. And then in the 35th mission is called MTT, the midterm test. So if you fail that one, again, you're suspended right away. So after that, then your high advanced maneuverability starts, in which you do the Cuban 8s and you roll over the top. But the low-level maneuvers are like aileron rolls and the wing over and the barrel roll. Again, the loop, right? But during your solo, you're not supposed to perform the barrel roll and the loop. You're positioning yourself in the area to manage your 20 maneuvers for the FHT, which is final handling test. So FHT is after 50 hours of flying the first aircraft. and where you go with the squadron commander or you go with a higher rank officer and you show your capabilities, that how you managed your maneuvers, and you just show them. So they would and one emergency landing, and that's it, you are done. So within 6 months you have to complete that. And so I'm telling you, so see, circuit solo check 1, choke solo 2, area solo 3, MTT 3, and then FST. So you have 5 risks to be suspended from flying in Pakistan Air Force. And then you keep on increasing the aircrafts. Every aircraft has the same system initially. And once you're pro, then you go on. So after the 5th semester, last 2 semesters, 6th and 7th semesters, are BFT, basic flying training, where you go. Initially in my time, we used to go on T-37s, but now it's K-8s as well. So 2 different kinds of T-37s still going on, by the way. Loveliest aircraft. I loved it the most. I've flown K-8 as well, and MFI-17 too, of course. So that's how, and we still have college. We still go to the college normally when the weather is bad. So we go to the college and have our College of Flying training and have our undergraduate program classes. And once, most of the time, we stay at the crew room. So last semester is just totally flying, no college at all. So when we have to finish, because we have to finish altogether 185 hours in 18 months of time. So 185 hours in 18 months, sorry. And once you finish that one, you're good to go. The last phase of basic flying training is the formation phase. And they say once you do the formation solo, after flying 5 formation missions, you have to go solo. And you have to show at least 30-degree bank and a better roll, and switching your positions different ways, and so that's, once I would get to that point, I would explain that one. But once you do formation solo, they say that your wings are confirmed. And I have done formation solo, by the way. So this was the whole hierarchy. Now, let's get back to the point that my course, why it was 2.5 years. After the Soviet War, again, the US, they put sanctions on Pakistan, although we were the biggest helpers back then, fighting a Cold War. We shouldn't be, but we had to do it. And for our survival too, that's the only excuse I can give. But right after, when Soviet Union got out of Afghanistan, Pakistan was sanctioned. And we were not provided with any F-16 spare parts, and the T-37s, no spare parts. So that was our survival. So the problem occurred in 1992, when the last course, 98th GDP, when they were enrolled in the month of July. We had more pilots and less aircrafts. So what Air Force did, they stopped the induction. The December 1992 induction was not taken in, and 1993 was not taken in. And then we were enrolled in, when the ad came into the newspaper, we were enrolled as the 1994 course. So that's how we went into this, for the year 1994. I was going to graduate in 1996, June, exactly 2.5 years. So they couldn't reduce the flying. They reduced our the undergraduate program, the BSc in aviation sciences. Instead of 2 years, we have to study everything in 1 year. So all those 40 subjects, which people did in 4 semesters, we had to do it in 2 semesters. And we did it. I'm an aviation management graduate. It was really burdening, a lot of pressure on this short course, and we were the biggest course in the history of Air Force. 70 cadets appeared. So that's how our course was 2.5 years old in Air Force, the shortest course in Air Force history. And then it was the reporting time. I applied on 8th of August 1993, and my initial tests, they went through. There's a video on my channel, you could go back, that's how I got into the Air Force till the day 1. So now I'm telling the story of my day 1 onwards. And so on 29 December, I took my I live in Rawalpindi city, so took a hiace, a minivan with 18 passengers on, and we went to Air Force Academy. We went to in the Shara. There was a bus waiting for us, and we got onto the Air Force bus. And from the Shara, we were taken to Risalpur city, and we got in front of the gate. Once we entered the gate, they asked for the names. They confirmed the names and the credentials. They checked everything, the ID cards and stuff like that, and the final call letter. And they provided us a list of things we have to bring with us, which I will share in the future videos. So once we went in, they sent us to the guard room. When we entered the guard room, it was so beautiful. I mean, the carpet, my feet went in, it was that spongy and soft. So then right away, the snacks came in and the juice came in. And my brother was with me. My dad was abroad. My mom was too old to accompany me. And my brother, he was the one who came with me. And he was like admiring me. He said, wow, man, you are an officer now. And I was like, wow, I never expected this hospitality. So eventually, by 1 o'clock, that my senior officer, the cadet, the senior cadet, 2.5 tapes, Sir Shabir Gould, very polite, and he asked the parents, uh, please leave your kids to us. They're in good hands and you guys can go. So, anyhow, my brother hugged me and I said, go, man, I'm in safe hands now. So that's the story of the boot camp. And then what happened to us was, uh, it's untellable. We create new words in Air Force. So yeah, just pardon us for that. And as soon as the parents left, they made sure that all the cars, all the vehicles that came to drop us have left the vicinity of the event. The main gates were closed. No one could see inside. And then the smiley face on that senior cadet turned into, damn, a furious face. And he said, you guys think that you're going to be officers from today onwards? And we were shocked. We were like 10, 15 guys. Because altogether 70, but they put in different times, so they used to send batches and batches into the rooms. So the first batch, we were the second batch. First batch already went in. And they said, get up, you buggers. And then they used the F words, and we were like, holy cow, we're not supposed to say this. He said, you get your tongue back into your mouth or I will shove it up your ass. I said, holy cow. So this is what I'm saying, that in one sentence he used at least 4 or 5 F words and all the curse words which he could know. He's yelling at strength 10. Strength 1 is when I'm talking to you at the moment. That's strength 1. Strength 10, imagine that. And all his, saliva was getting on our face, and he told us, man, I don't want to see any gap between your elbows. So that's how we were treated in the beginning. Once we came out, we had luggage with us, which is suitcases. I was lucky that I just had the things they asked me to bring. I just brought them. So I had about 12 to 14 kilos with an iron for pressing clothes. That was the heaviest one, around 6 or 7 kilos. The rest of the things were like vests, shorts, ties, shirts, socks, shoes, and some normal things you use like paper towels and stuff like that. So my bag was not so heavy. So once we came out, I said, okay, put your bags above your head. And one of my course mates, he had a sleeping bag on him, and that was heavy. And he had 3 suitcases, and you have to take everything on your head. So first impression was the last thing, because my bag was light in weight. So when he says, okay, sprint to the tennis courts, and I whoosh, went to the tennis courts right away. Said, hey, you, that skinny chap, stop over there. Okay. And now I can rest, Get your bags down, take some rest. You're a good guy. And actually, they were trying to build up the course mate shit. Now, I was being selfish to take my own rest, so I'm just running like a dog. Eventually, in the end, it took us that was half a kilometer, 1,000 meters from the entrance gate, from the guard room to the cadets mess. It took us about 2 to 3 hours, because the last guy was lagging behind. He has to come up, and then the others have to double march, and then we have to come back. So it took like that long time once we reached there. And he called me out. He said, well, you are the first one, so I would congratulate that you're going to survive the Air Force, but You should have been taking care of your classmates, your course mates who were lagging behind you. You were running like a dog. So next time, you have to keep them with you. Lesson learned. So coursemanship. Right after that, we were asked to have lunch. When we went for the lunch, that was another scary story. We were told to sit on the edges of the chair with hands in front and have to hold the fork in the left hand and the knife in the right hand, and elbows shouldn't be touching the table and wrists shouldn't be touching the table, and you have to eat, and there shouldn't be even a single noise of the utensils touching the. And hello, I'm from a mediocre family. We eat with hands too. Okay, so for me it was very hard, but tried. And sometimes when he used to come back at our backs, he used to kick the chair out, and if we fall down, yeah, we have to go for 100 push-ups right away, because you're not supposed to fall, and you're sitting on the edge of the chair. So you were practically you were sitting not on the chair. So that was the first day. Then we were asked to go down into the basement of the mess hall where the barber shop was, and that was another different thingy. I have explained that in my previous week why it became dark. Hello? Okay, I'll add the brightness later. So eventually we had our first haircut, and that was disastrous because I had really long silky hair and all cut up till here. And this short or this tall, you would say, that's it. Some of us even couldn't recognize our own faces in the mirror. So, and then it was we stayed in the, different ranks, cadets ranks. So we used to have half tape, no half tapes because half tape is the junior most. We were in white shitties, they call it, white shirt and white pants. That's what we have to wear in the blue tie. So then after that, we came into our shitties, white shitties they call it. Don't ask me why, but it's called white shitties. So white shirt, white pants, black Oxford shoes, and blue tie. That was our uniform throughout the first semester until the saluting test. So once you pass your saluting test, then you can go on for first week, and then you can come back and wear the gray militia trousers and the white shirt, and then your tie becomes red. And you start wearing half tape. After half tape, for normal cadets, it was half tape, one tape, two tape, two and a half tape, three tape. We got quarterfinal term, then semifinal term, four tapes, and fifth, the final term was a big band, thicker band. And then you wear your squadron colors. All four squadrons are different colors. Squadron 1 has blue, Squadron 2 has red, Squadron 3 has green, and Squadron 4 has yellow. So if someone is wearing yellow ranks, it's from Squadron 4. Someone wearing blue ranks is from Squadron 1. That's how we differentiate. And we are under two wings, Wing 1, Wing 2. Wing 1 is Squadron 1 and Squadron 2. And Wing 2 is Squadron 2, 3 and Squadron 4. And then that's how the whole academy is. That's the hierarchy of the whole academy. And right after that, and we were being, 100 push-ups was the normal thing. So every rank has to deliver the cadets to the upper rank. So this is a ritual. So one tape first, and they would drag you for about half an hour, and then they would deliver you to their seniors, and they would go home. And there were a few duty cadets assigned because it was not the right time for us to report. We should have reported in January. But I will tell you in the end why we're reported. Again, it has something to do with the American sanctions on us and the blockage of the no course in for a year and a half in between. So they had to keep the pace up so that the graduating year and the month doesn't change. For that, they compressed the course down, and that's how we went on. So after that one, once we went to the final term, the seventh semester people, then when they took us, we were in commando kit, they call it. Just a vest, just the shorts, and the DMS under you. We were provided the DMS right on the day, service issued. And they were heavy boots. And we put on, and I wore two of the vests because it was cold. December in Risalpur. Trust me, it's dry cold. And the winds, they pierce you. So I thought they would not see the thin one inside. And the rest, everything is, you're naked. I mean, on your shoulders and arms. It's only the vest, the normal vest, the white beater they call it in some countries, and the shorts. And my senior checked me and he said, "Come out. You feeling cold?" I said, "Yes, sir." "Oh, that's why you're wearing two vests." I said, "Oh, so you'd have told me. I should have given you pajamas." And I was like, "Wow, he's so kind." I said, "Oh, yeah, thank you, sir." He said, "Fucker, no thanks and no sorries in Air Force. Come out." Took me out. We had ponds, really long ponds full of water. And he said, "Jump." I said, "You're kidding me." I literally said that. "आप मजाक कर रहे हैं." He said, "Do you think that I have some relationship with you, that I'm gonna kid with you?" Again, many F words, yelling in my face, spitting all the saliva on my face. And I was like, "Holy cow, sir." He said, "Don't move." Eventually, I jumped into the water. The temperature outside would be, I would say, around 0 degrees at night at that time. Okay, we don't go in minus. In the pond temperature, because we're not freezing, so it would be above zero to about 4 degrees. But outside, the wind factor would make it more chillier. And inside, there was no wind. So I felt warmer inside. When I jumped inside initially, I felt very cold. But later on, I felt like warm. I said, wow. And I stayed in. And the rest of the guys, those who were after me, started jumping in. They came out right away. And that makes you more shivering because you're having water on you. And then the wind factor involves, and then water freezes quickly. So you get double ice jammed. But I became smart. So I stayed in. And that cadet, he said, "Hey, don't you want to come out?" I said, I'm okay here." He said, "Wow, you were the first." I don't know whether they didn't experience this thing, but inside the water it was warmer than outside because of the minus wind factor. So eventually he had to take me out. And when I came out, the condensation happened and fumes, the clouds were coming out of us. We looked like angels wearing white. Imagine that. Fumes coming out. And there was a muddy ground and they started to roll us over there. And we kept rolling, front rolling. They do it on two purposes. One, front rolling is done so that your mind gets, because in the airplane you have to do that. So they start from the day one, and side rolling, and what. So by 12 o'clock, when we went back to the room, it was 12 hours of consecutive ragging, just 5 minutes lunch break and 5 minutes dinner break. Once we went to the room, we were like John Rambo, clothes all muddy. And they gave us 5 minutes to take a shower. Cold water, by the way, no hot water, because that's the ritual. And if you don't take a shower, you're gonna stink like an ass. So we had to take the shower quickly, got our gowns in, went into the bed, and then 4 o'clock in the morning, the next day begins. So that was the story of my day one. Hope you liked it. But what I love is that I have beautiful, lovely course mates, and we're still to the day we are like a family. And this is what Air Force gives you: another family. And we are all bounded together. So thank you very much. See you next time.